Hello there, thanks for joining me this Thursday. I'm Muhammad Ahmad Hamdan and these are tonight's top stories. Government freezes toll rate hikes on 21 highways across the country. Inquest to be held into Muhammad Adib's death. Sri Hishamuddin's former aide found guilty for corruption. We begin tonight's bulletin with this story. The government will freeze toll rate hikes on 21 highways across the country that are eligible for an increase in 2019. Finance Minister Lim Guan Ang in a statement today said the move applies to all vehicle classes. This was in addition to Lim's earlier announcement on the tabling of 2019 budget, in which he said only toll hikes for intra-city highways would be frozen. According to the minister, the move to freeze the toll rate hikes will cost the government some 972.75 million ringgit in compensation payments to the relevant highway toll concessionaires for 2019. He also said the comprehensive toll hike freeze is an ongoing effort by the Pakatan Harapan-led federal government to alleviate the burden of rising living costs borne by all Malaysians. He added nearly 40 tolls on these 21 highways would be affected by the decision. The highways include the North-South Highway, Malaysia-Singapore Second Link Highway, Kesas Highway, Elite Highway and East Coast Highway. The Cabinet also agreed to freeze toll hikes for Class 5 vehicles or buses with an estimated cost of 1.68 million ringgit on 8 separate highways. And now to give us more insights on this matter, we have with us on the line Dr. Yah Kim Lang, an economics professor from Sunway University. Thank you for joining us, Professor. So what's your take on the government's decision to freeze toll hike for 21 highways across the country in 2019?
It's a good move, but as an interim measure to full review of the toll collection system, given that the new government has promised in its manifesto to reduce or abolish all tolls. So by freezing it, I think it's a good interim measure pending a full-scale review.
Now, Professor, the government will be spending nearly 1 billion ringgit to compensate highway concessionaires. Is this already budgeted for 2019, and will this impact the government's coffers?
It may not have been budgeted, given that it's quite a sizable amount, and it could be pending. It could actually depend on the length of the toll freeze. So if it's shorter, then the expenditure may be less. So perhaps we need some clarity on this, and because 1 billion is quite a sizable amount to compensate, perhaps that review, the full review, can be speeded up, and some more feasible system of reducing or abolishing the toll could be looked into more carefully given a longer period.
Now, being typical Malaysians, do you think the people will expect the government to extend the move to 2020 and beyond? And in your opinion, how should the government address this? Should the government continue to compensate highway concessionaires or maybe come up with another arrangement?
Likely to see a new arrangement, given that it is not feasible to continuously compensate concessionaire. Okay. And given that the government is currently in a tight position, it may not be able to completely compensate fully. Perhaps one way is to look into different financing modes, including securitization of the toll routes, in order to raise the necessary funding to perhaps even take over some of the concession as soon as possible.
Right, thank you, Professor, for those invaluable insights. Moving on, a former special officer to Datuk Sri Hishamuddin Hussein was sentenced to 2 years jail and fined 400,000 ringgit for corruption involving 80,000 ringgit. Judge Rosila Saleh handed out the sentence on 48-year-old Zailan Jauhari after finding that the defense had failed to raise reasonable doubts against the prosecution's case. Rosila said the submission by the defense was found not honest, totally unacceptable and merely a denial. Zailan, who was first charged in the court on February 2014, was alleged to have accepted gratification in the form of 20,000 ringgit and in a cheque for 60,000 ringgit for helping two companies to obtain tenders for school cleaning works in Kuala Selangor. He was charged with committing the offence at a restaurant in the district on January 8, 2014. The charge under the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission Act provides an imprisonment for up to 20 years and fine not less than 5 times the amount of gratification involved, or 10,000 ringgit, whichever is higher, upon conviction. However, the court allowed a stay of the sentence following an application by Zailani's lawyer to appeal the case at the High Court, but on the condition that he paid the fine as well as filed the appeal today. The judge also increased Zailan's bail from 30,000 ringgit to 50,000 ringgit in one surety.
In Kelantan, a female shaman with her police boyfriend were charged with aggravated assault against a woman believed to be the former's client. 29-year-old Siti Nurul Iman Abdullah and Muhammad Haziq Abdul Hamid, aged 27, pleaded not guilty to the charge read out to them at Kota Baru Sessions Court today. The duo were accused of causing severe injuries to 59-year-old Siti Norma Abdullah during a bizarre ritual which saw the victim being beaten using torched wooden and bamboo sticks. The incident allegedly took place at a house located in the Machang district at 11 a.m. on December 14th. A witness said the victim from Sri Aman, Sarawak, was seen dancing in front of the house before she was beaten during the ritual, allegedly to chase away an evil spirit. The court granted the duo a 15,000 ringgit bail each and set January 27th for re-mention of the case. The charge under the Penal Code carries a maximum 20 years imprisonment and fine or whipping if convicted.
An unemployed man has been sentenced to jail for threatening a police personnel with a parang. 34-year-old Hamdi Ramli pleaded not guilty to the charges read out to him at the Kuala Terengganu Magistrates Court today. He was charged under the Penal Code for intimidation and using criminal force. Both charges carry 12 and 3 months imprisonment, respectively. It was understood that the accused had threatened to kill Corporal Ahmad Rafai Isha in front of a house in Kampung Bangul To Esa on November 23rd. The policeman, together with his colleague, had gone to the house following a tip-off involving a banana theft incident. The cops then tried to apprehend the accused as a theft suspect before the latter drew a parang kept behind his back and pointed it towards Ahmad Rafai. Hamdi was later arrested on November 25th following a police report lodged against him. In Malacca, an unemployed man was sentenced to 15 years in jail and given 10 strokes of the rotan by the Alor Gajah Sessions Court for raping his own daughter last July. Earlier, the 39-year-old pleaded guilty when the charge was read out to him before Judge Ahmad Sazali Omar. The father of 7 was accused of raping her 18-year-old daughter at a house in Ladang Gede, Jamantang in Pulau Sebang. The charge under the Penal Code provides a jail term up to 30 years and 10 strokes of the rotan upon conviction. Judge Ahmad Sazali ordered the jail sentence to begin on the day of his arrest, last December 21st. The Kelang Magistrates Court today issued an order to have Jaringan Melayu Malaysia JMM President Dato' Azwandin Hamzah remanded for 4 days from today to assist an investigation into his alleged provocative remarks. Magistrate Nik Nur Amalina Mat Zaidan issued the order under Section 506 of the Penal Code. Dato' Azwandin, who is also the advisor of Gagasan Tiga Malaysia, was represented by lawyer Dato' Imran Tamrin. He was arrested at 2:40 p.m. yesterday at the Keramat Mall in Jalan Datuk Keramat, Kuala Lumpur for having allegedly threatened to storm a police station in his speech at a rally in Klang, Selangor on Tuesday. At the rally organised by Gerakan Rakyat Malaysia, GERAS, Dato' Azwan Din also used provocative language and repeatedly used a derogatory word against National Unity and Social Wellbeing Minister P. Wertamurti. GERAS had made 5 demands, including justice, following the death of fireman Muhammad Adib Muhammad Kasim, who succumbed to injuries after being attacked by rioters near the Seafield Maha Mariamman Temple last month, and the sacking of Wertamurti within 40 days. Now, an inquest will be held to determine the cause of death of firefighter Muhammad Adib Muhammad Kasim during the riots at a temple in Selangor last month. Home Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said the Public Prosecutor Office, headed by Attorney General, will direct a magistrate to conduct the inquiry. In a Facebook post today, he said an application to set the date for the hearing will be filed to court soon. He said the magistrate conducting the inquest will have wide powers under Section 328 of the Criminal Procedure Code to determine the cause of death. 24-year-old Muhammad Adib of the Subang Jaya Fire and Rescue Station was severely injured during a riot in the vicinity of the Sri Maha Mariamman Temple in USJ 25 Subang Jaya on November 27. Some people claim that he was injured in a vehicle accident, while others allege that he was assaulted by several rioters.
Elsewhere, police have identified the identity of a charred victim found in a raised Nissan Sentra at Taman Jasper Jaya in Seremban, Negeri Sembilan last night. Deputy District Police Chief Superintendent Muhammad Rosli Ishaq said initial investigation showed the victim was a 34-year-old Chinese man. To date, police have ruled out foul play and classified the case as sudden death. The body has been sent to Tuanku Jaafar Hospital for post-mortem. In the 9:49 p.m. incident, the Fire and Rescue Department received a call on the burning car. 8 firefighters were deployed to the scene to put out the blaze, after which the team discovered the charred body.
Now, search and rescue efforts continued today to locate a missing man who was feared to have drowned during a family outing to the Burmese pool waterfall Bukit Larut in Taiping, Perak yesterday. District Fire and Rescue Station Operations Head Rafiel Hyrule Richard said the incident occurred around 3 p.m.
Search and rescue efforts were carried out with the help of members of the Malaysian Civil Defence Force covering a distance of 3 kilometers from the scene. According to a witness, Justine Michael was last seen on a large rock in the waterfall area before he was swept away by a sudden surge of water. He also said the 24-year-old victim was alone when the incident happened.
Masa itu tak hujan.
Tak hujan?
Atas hujan dia. Memang kita mendingnya time tak hujan, air berisik. Tiba-tiba jadi ni macam.
Karjushan also said he was aware of the water column incidents, known colloquially as Kapala Air in the area, but did not expect it to happen to his family.
Up next, not even a taser can stop Auntie's wrath over noisy neighbor. Details next. Welcome back. Now let's hop on to Clickbait, where we take a look at what's trending and making rounds in the cyber world today. I'm sure all of us have complained about having noisy neighbors, but this senior citizen's annoyance over her neighbor's ruckus brought it to a whole new level. Her fury made her go violent, even engaging several policemen in a standoff and unable to withstand getting tased by cops. Take a look at this story.
Yesterday, a video showing an auntie getting tased by police while wielding a chopper outside her neighbor's window in Singapore went viral and was viewed over 1.3 million times in just under 24 hours. At first, the 61-year-old woman went to her neighbor's flat in Serangoon North during the wee hours of Christmas Day to complain about the noise, but somehow ended up attacking the front door and windows of the unit with a chopper. This prompted the unit owner to call the police, who arrived about 4 a.m. The policeman then instructed her several times to drop her weapon, to which she refused. Eventually, one of the cops tased the woman, which floored her and caused her to drop the chopper. But surprisingly, she managed to stand back up and continued to resist arrest. Moments later, police managed to get the woman to comply to their instructions, and she was arrested for criminal intimidation. She was then taken to a hospital for a checkup, and the doctor confirmed she did not sustain any injuries. She was released later on police bail. However, investigation on the case is still ongoing.
And now updated as of 7 p.m, here are the top trending topics and searches on the internet today. In other news, Deputy Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Nazrin Muizzuddin Shah presented the appointment letter as the Yang di-Pertua Negeri of Sabah for the third term to Tun Juha Mahiruddin. The appointment takes effect on January 1st, 2019. The ceremony was held at Singgasana Kecil, Istana Negara, and witnessed by Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail. Also present Home Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, Dewan Rakyat Speaker Datuk Muhammad Arif Mat Yusof and Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Muhammad Fuzi Harun. 65-year-old Tun Juha was appointed the 10th Yang di-Pertua Negeri of Sabah on January 1st, 2011, replacing Tun Ahmad Shah Abdullah. He was appointed to the post for the second term on January 1st, 2015. The Sabah State Assembly recently passed a bill on an amendment to the state constitution on the abolishment of the two-term limit for the post of the Sabah Yang di-Pertua Negeri. About 5,400 students from B40 families who passed the UPSR have qualified for the Maktab Rendah Sains Mara MRSM next year. Rural Development Minister Datuk Sri Rina Muhammad Harun said this number was 70% out of 7,760 places available in 54 MRSM colleges nationwide.
Untuk keputusan MRSM untuk tahun 2019, 70% adalah daripada golongan B40, 20% M40 dan 10% daripada M20. Maksudnya result dah keluar lebih awal daripada biasa bulan Februari. Ya, kita dah keluarkan result pada 21 Disember 2018, lebih awal daripada biasa. Kerana apa? Ini kerana ingin membantu ibu bapa dalam membuat persiapan terutama untuk sesi persekolahan ini.
She was speaking to reporters after launching a free haircut Segak ke Sekolah program at the People's Housing Project in Jalan Jelatik, Kuala Lumpur today. The minister pointed that 70% student intake from B40 has exceeded the ministry's target of 65% for this year. Commenting on the MRSM intake, she said the students were selected based on their UPSR results, family income, as well as several other criteria. The ministry had received 70,000 applications from students from MRSM colleges. The Department of Veterinary Services today assured that Malaysia does not import pork blood protein flour from China that is used to process animal feed. This follows a report by the Asian Age, which claimed that authorities in China had found African swine fever AFS virus in protein powder processed from pork's blood to produce animal feed in Huizhou, Guangdong. Its Director General, Dr. Kwanzaa Nizamuddin Hassan Nizam, in a statement said the department has issued a directive on the importing of live pigs and frozen pork products from September 18th due to the occurrence of AFS in China. On September 7th, the Agriculture and Agribase Industry Ministry declared Malaysia free from ASF since the virus was detected in the Asian continent on August 3rd. Its Deputy Minister Sim Zezin said the ministry had taken proactive measures, among them an immediate import ban on all live pigs and frozen pork from 6 countries for the time being. The 6 countries are China, Poland, Russia, Hungary, Moldova and Ukraine.